big Scientology. That's the church that Tom Cruise attends.
Yeah.
What a way to start. Got him! I got him!
Feeling no, there's
tell,
a
can't
change
you?
in your tone
I know.
when like, there's like a slight grin when you think yeah.
Slight, Tyler. It's the most shit-eating grin you've ever seen.
Ear to ear. Yeah.
Or heard. You can hear it. Because, well, you know, if this can't really go on for 2 hours now anyway. I mean, I don't think it was going to.
Yeah.
Because it's slightly odd, because I can't remember what we did last Thursday. Oh, I remember. Yeah, but we didn't know, did we? We actually recorded on Wednesday, so it just cleaned things up very well. So that explains that. Basically, the idea is to record this before whatever teaser they have today is shown, for which there will be, I guess there'll be a live reaction. Not live streamed. Not live streamed. What we should do is just be watching like 40 minutes of the stream, the dev stream, and then it gets to the clip, and then we stop recording. Or like it plays the clip and we just scream, like no matter what it is, and it's just stop. It's not actual afterthoughts. I mean, the video itself will be the afterthoughts. But speaking of afterthoughts to teasers, I think we should start off with this little footnote. Oh, welcome to the Barrel Vision podcast. It's episode 22. Last week's was a bit weird.
A bit different. Broadened our horizons.
I wouldn't say our horizons have changed. They're still just as grim.
Why have we got... I guess it is Britain.
Exactly,
it's Britain. Grim horizons.
The horizon is inexorably grim.
I'm a grin.
But last week, after both teasers, they actually made a Steam post about said teasers, which they did not do this for the previous ones. Did you see this post? Oh, they did one for the voltaic stun sweeper. Did we actually get that? Did we see that? Where they gave it a name?
No.
So I didn't know about this one. I knew about the driller one. Okay. Yeah, the boomerang is called the voltaic stun sweeper. Yeah, we did. Yeah, I'm sure we did. Someone called it that. Someone called it that on the Reddit, but that was actually them just reciting the name.
It was them making builds for it before it even came out. Remember, it was on the Reddit.
Yeah,
review.
and we were confused why they used that name, but that's what it's called.
Yeah. Which is better than the outstick.
It is better than the outstick. It's still going to be the boomerang, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, not really unfortunately. The other one addresses both teasers. It addresses the grenade and the clip with the tentacles. Doesn't, I guess address it really isn't the right word. It just says we will be talking more about whatever it is very soon. It's like, yes, okay, great. It's not anything. So the grenade is actually called, well, the grenade, the rollerblade, the buzzsaw, the chain floor, as Tyler called it, stupidly. It's actually called the spring-loaded Ripper.
Hello. That's...
I can call it the Ripper. That's just fine with me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else you call it. Yeah. What? So they addressed like the other teaser, but what is there to address?
Nothing. They just acknowledged it, I guess. I mean, the first one was just the goggles, and there was a Steam post for that, but it's nothing. It's just a picture of the goggles. There was no text. I don't know. It's still something. I didn't actually know they did these, but they do. There's also a patch 3 days ago, and now it should show your double XP, your double performance points correctly when you get the mug. There you go. Speaking of the mug, I mean, I guess what it's associated with.
They added an animation for it.
I don't know. I think
out.
Yeah, it does. It's weird. It's so weird because you're so clearly frozen stiff, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's not like there's much. You can. I wouldn't say I've already noticed the breathing of the dwarves because your guns, they just move slightly up, and everything you're holding moves slightly up and down because it's just passive animation. And you notice it when it's not there, even though it's so little, and it's so wrong. It's just this dwarf, his arm outstretched, fixed, so rigidly, gripped to this mug. It looks so unnatural. It's so bizarre. There's also no throwing animation.
And I think it is something they haven't actually specifically stated, but they've alluded to that they kind of run out of time for this event.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
they were going to add dwarf voice lines, but they just didn't have the time for it.
Which is interesting, actually, isn't it? I'm gonna put this down to, I reckon they probably started working on Oktoberfest like very recently. Right. Obviously, after season 3's development started, obviously that's what I think. So they're going on at the same time, but they realised that they wanted to do more of Oktoberfest still, but they kind of just they did, but they couldn't actually do everything they wanted to, because I assume they were still working on season 3 at the same time, and possibly Halloween, and possibly Christmas, and possibly the Lunar New Year, and possibly the birthday event, and possibly Easter, and possibly another summer beach party for next year. And these are all things that we will be talking about today.
Move as balls, Harry.
It sounds like you said move as balls.
That's because I can't mouth properly.
I always move as balls. It's my default form of locomotion. Let's suggest not the elephant in the room, the men in the room. Look at the dwarves. It's us.
Yeah. Don't look too close to you, though. Zooming in does some damage.
You don't have to zoom in, Tyler. You don't have to zoom in for it to be blurry.
That's so mean. But, yeah, I mean, one last footnote, even though Harry transitioned so well.
You fuck.
When we stream on YouTube and that, or like Mondays and Fridays, we're now also going to be streaming on Twitch at the same time. Harry's going to be on YouTube and I'll be on Twitch, so both perspectives. Fun fact.
Lucky for us, the one that's going to get less attention is the worst one, I assume, unless the Twitch
Twitch
goes
Twitch
off for
is
no
easy.
reason.
Twitch is easier of like people that don't know about us.
Because if
they
you
can
search
just
up
stumble
Deep
across
Rock,
it.
it will be on that page, basically, won't it?
Yeah.
There's so few people streaming it.
Like, the YouTube one, nobody that isn't subscribed to us is going to find it. It's not something you can find. It's something you would just, if you're already subscribed to the channel. But yeah, no, the Twitch will be people actually finding the stream. So it might waver. Point is Numbario, he was like, maybe you should stream on Twitch.
Mekikuna Numbario.
Yeah, and we were like, we don't really want to just stream on Twitch.
Our most trusted servant.
So, and then I realised we can do both, and it will actually win-win, because then we have both perspectives and stuff.
Also,
and things.
I don't think we've officially acknowledged getting to 200 subscribers. I mean, it was a week ago now, at least, but that's
because
cool,
you're
man.
waiting until 250 to actually celebrate.
We're not going to.
Apparently, it's not a big enough milestone.
I know. No, it's. I just think 250 is more comprehensive. But thank you anyway. 200. That's some. That's some crazy shit, man.
Better have a plan for 250.
Did you have a plan for 200?
Skyrocketing. It's crazy.
Well, what the hell?
You.
What would we even? What even?
I don't know. You're the one that wants to celebrate it.
I don't. You wanted to celebrate 200.
Yeah, but you want to celebrate 250.
Yeah, but did you have an idea?
No.
I don't either.
Good. We'll talk about this later.
Let's talk about this at the end of the show.
or in private.
Or
I'm
in
not sure if you're aware of
private.
that concept.
No, actually, I want to document my entire existence on the internet, like Chris Chan.
Like, Chris, be careful. I think even saying his name
Really?
might get shit. Like, I don't think so. I think,
It's
but
just
you
a
know, if you
reference,
actually start
guys.
showing stuff, then you're pretty risky because he is a very
Well, how can I?
weird person.
How would I even go about showing something like that? Well,
I
know
don't
how I
know.
would. It'd be quite easy actually, but why would I do something like that? Why
Don't
would I do
do
that to
that.
us? Why would I do that? I don't know why I'm trying. I don't know why I'm sounding sarcastic. I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah. A bit out of it, to be honest. I don't know why. It feels like every one of these videos we recorded this week, it feels like it's been so long since we recorded a video. I don't know
well,
why.
this is also the earliest we've recorded a pod, but maybe anything.
This is true, actually, yeah.
Because Tyler, he came around my house, he threw like flour and like syrup on my face, like eggs, and like
Yeah.
blew an air horn in my face, and then
I poured like a giant
dropped
bucket's
an,
worth
he
of
dropped
like
an anvil
chowder.
on me.
Yeah,
Like,
it made the fucking
bang!
Minecraft sound.
And my eyes popped out my head, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I got up, and he was gone.
Yeah. And
And my
then
computer
I was
was
on
open. My
Discord
computer was
calling
open with It was. As I got up, he was calling me. It wasn't
Yeah.
actually like that. You didn't wake me up with the call.
I know, you were already online when I was online.
Oh, okay. I was eating a bacon sandwich.
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it was important business, so I willfully ignored it.
Okay, and now we're here, and that's the backstory of us recording the beginning
That's our
of this.
backstory.
If this is your first podcast, this is nothing new, and if
Yeah, well,
this
it's a
isn't your first
podcast.
podcast,
It's
then
not a
you would
video
expect
essay.
this. That is true. Not that if we did video essays, it would be much different.
Well, I don't think anyone's ever done a duet. Well, actually, the videos you've done are kind of like duet video essays.
I think video essays, never duets, but I think they are lean
Well, I did
towards
one.
like collabs, stuff
I
like
did
that.
one.
You see a video essay if it's like 8 minutes.
They'll bring someone in to like say
It's
a
like
piece.
a video paragraph.
Wow, a video footnote,
Yeah.
which is the theme of today.
Over that tape.
You used it. It's only because I used it, though, isn't it? You have a lot of footnote is. I couldn't give you the definition.
No, isn't it just? It's just a note at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's like this is what you just read. You're like, oh, thanks.
it's just the whole thing again. This is what you just read.
It's like the book's really, really thick, but it's just the same thing over and over again, and just footnotes.
No. It's just a footnote at the end, and it's just the book again. It's just no reason. It's just 2 in 1. It's the same thing, except it goes backwards.
There used to be books like that. Have you? I'm probably in the attic now, but yeah, there's like a book. It's like a normal book, but then there's like a book upside down on the back, and it's like 2 in 1.
What the fuck?
And
How?
and once you finish the first book, then suddenly you're looking at like the end of the other book upside down, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'm
Wait,
done.
so all the letters are different upside down? They're still letters.
Yeah,
That's
no.
crazy. What?
They're just up the book. It's so basically you just, if you want to read the other book, you just flip the book, and then there's the other book that you could read.
So it uses the same text, but the text is both
Upside down.
a word one way round and another word upside down.
What?
So each
No.
word is 2
No,
words.
it's like in the middle it flips, and it's a different book.
Oh, well, that's pretty simple. Why didn't you just say so?
Because I thought I was, but some things, when you know it's so clearly in your mind, you struggle to explain the details.
Yeah, see, I'm aware of this fact, but I ignore it and I just get angry at people who don't know as much as I do.
That's more than fair, and it's not, but there's not much we can do
I
about it.
genuinely can't help it. I get.
and
It's why I don't say anything on on the internet. I don't comment on things because I just get annoyed at everything. So I just keep my mouth shut. Otherwise, I know I'll go off the rails. Because I just get so
It is
infuriated by people who don't know things that I know.
The only comments I've ever seen you leave are always passive aggressive, just all the time. I'm just like scrolling through Reddit, and I just see, oh, it's Harry's commented, and it's like, oh, he's being passive aggressive.
Or just
He's
aggressive.
asking a rhetorical question, and oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of rhetorical questions,
What?
events?
Events?
Question mark.
Question mark. Well, not so much events. I think we need to do the Oktoberfest review,
Yeah, I think that's a good start.
and that should trail off into, first of all, what we want. This will be a big sort of a topic. What
Yeah.
they should do with events, specifically in regards to
Which
taking
is
things
why-
from Oktoberfest, putting them other events, and also new
Yeah,
things.
which is
want
why
them to
we
do.
waited for Oktoberfest to come out to do this one. Because we knew that we kind of we want to use Oktoberfest as like the framework for the future of events, and we couldn't really do that if it wasn't out yet.
We also need to get the Halo slander outside the system before we literally combusted.
That too. Look, that's the thing. Is that I get rolled up and I love talking about it, but generally I just don't care. But that's not for a different video. Literally, that was our last podcast. Go watch that if you hate Halo or like Halo but are sad how it turned out, or like Halo and still like Halo but want to know why it's bad. Point is, that was a Halo video. This is a Deep Rock video, and we're talking about the Oktoberfest, which, as far as events go, they stepped it up. I think that's not saying that they added more, they did more.
So generally,
these are facts.
when you have pieces of evidence that lead towards a certain conclusion, it can help you make that conclusion with certainty. And my conclusion, and I've said this before, is that they brought Oktoberfest back to fill the void. Frankly,
Yeah.
But there are still implications and things they've done with it that I think they're not going to just leave behind. I don't think this is a one-off thing just to fill the void, but I think that's why they brought it, because this is an example of Oktoberfest is not something that they actually do regularly. They did it once, and it was really just an update. I think it sort of just coincided with an update, and they sort of put things together. It's like, we'll do a little Oktoberfest event, and it will.
Well, isn't that also that's when they added beers? So
yeah,
I think they also because they wanted to do that. I imagine.
Yeah, and none of the other events, seasonal events, this is actually what they called on the wiki, which is correct. It makes it weird to call them that because obviously we have the seasonal model framework now, but these are generally
events in those seasons.
Yeah,
so there are
and I
seasonal events like the Prospector.
yeah. So I find it difficult to call these seasonal events. They're holiday events.
Yeah, I think holiday.
And that's why I called the episode the Holidays Special. The S is in brackets. But yeah, Oktoberfest is not something that they made any attempt to do regularly. It was a one and done until this year, until we had a massive content drought when they invented a new event, a new holiday event, and brought one back from 4 years ago. And these are the piece of evidence that lead me to that conclusion because it's so obvious.
And the thing is that I'm still glad they did it because it has worked. I'm pretty sure, but it's kind of weird in that it's going to be 2 weeks after this event ends that Halloween's going to start. It's really just a little extra. It just brought the line a little closer, the drought a little smaller.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking Halloween might be pretty much the same as last year. This time around, because of the way it's packed in between Oktoberfest, which is them stepping up their game for one event. I don't think they're going to play. I don't think they probably feel the need with Halloween, especially how. Okay.
We're doing the Oktoberfest first. We're gonna cover everything that is added and what we think about it.
But yeah, I mean, after the summer thing though, where they didn't add, it was just a new holiday event with no new features in the way that Oktoberfest brought. Although I think that was them taking what they'd learnt from that and then being like, we need to add more to these.
The summer event was really just something that they pushed out so then they could go on holiday, and I mean that literally. It's so the sourness of knowing that they're not actually working on the game was a bit more tolerable because we had an event, which I would say that's kind of spiteful in thinking that, but it's the case. That's why they did it. That is not an event that they've ever done before, even though they always have had breaks over that amount of time. And now was the time that they felt the urge to actually do that. But yeah, that was just something they kind of threw together.
It was also more explicitly.
I mean, there's still quite a bit of effort into it, but
it was more explicitly to tide it over. They didn't sort of use any phrasing like that for Oktoberfest, but and I don't think it's tiding us over so much that it's trying to provide something more substantial.
I feel like Oktoberfest feels like a reward for your patience. Like, it's like, thank you for waiting for season 3 for so long. Here's the stereotypical 2 new hats, but also like a new beer and double XP, which, you know, are all pretty
well, that's the main
fancy.
thing I want to focus on, but not for Oktoberfest specifically, but another reasons to why I think this is they like I said, I think the summer one was literally them trying to tide us over. Oktoberfest was more them taking opportunity to provide something more substantial with these events. Aware of the fact that they're kind of still using it to sort of bridge the gap, but I think they put more effort into it in a very deliberate sense.
And I think as we kind of mentioned earlier, they may have pushed it a bit too far. The fact that they didn't have time to, first of all, animate properly, not that they've addressed it, but also add dwarf voice lines for the mug, clearly shows that they couldn't actually get it out on time.
Yes,
it's still good. It's still in fine condition, but the fact that they made note of it themselves, like they brought it up on stream, that they didn't actually get voice lines out in the end, and they're kind of sad about that, proves to themselves that either they need to give themselves more times for events this size, or they need to tone it down slightly. And we're not sure what they're going to do, but I'm leaning towards toning it down slightly. And I think I mean, this goes a bit further, but like, you know, because that is the thing. There's the event things that we're probably going to be looking for in the future and have been in the past, right? There's the hats assignment, right?
I think the double XP part is most likely what they're going to carry forward.
I want to talk about that after we've covered everything, because I've a thought. But yeah, the hats are fine. Let's get this out of the way.
Hats, yeah. So I like them. I do like them both. I think the weird sort of the Traxton hood is the green hat with the blonde braids. It's a hat.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they carry the same kind of issue that I have with most of the holiday hats, where generally they ditch looking good for being related to the subject at hand.
Yeah, and I don't think that's really necessary. And it annoys me specifically with the barrel one, where they had the better hat there.
They made some really good looking barrels, and all they had to do was just put it on the dwarf's head. It's not going to be the stereotypical like blue ones. It's going to be the new textured wooden ones. Just
it's
put
it's
that
also wrong every step of the way. You don't even need the eye holes for me.
That's true, yeah.
But it's like wrong every step of the way with that one, where it's just like I get it's like not meant to be serious, but it's not like the rest of the game. It's not like it's not like the game is really at all, especially when it comes to cosmetics. But there are still good cosmetics, and it's like you put it on first of all it's inflatable, so it's like a wobbly thing.
Very weird.
It's on a mat. It's like it's got like a beer mat under it. I don't know what that's doing there. And it's on your head, just flopping about, and it's got like the tap as well because it's a keg. It's like you're meant to get beer from it.
Blanket.
But that should be gone. The tap should be gone, and the barrel should just be on your over your head
and not jiggly.
Yes, well, that'd be sort of quite funny, especially if it was actually on your head like a mask. But still, no. I wanted the straight up barrel. But then I get this sense that they still think that's silly. So it's just like, oh well, why would you want that? It's still silly. I don't know.
No,
why.
They clearly don't give a shit about things being silly. Like this barrel hat.
More effort than they needed to make it sillier.
Yeah, I think their issue, if anything, is that they don't want to give you a barrel helmet yet.
Okay. I mean, if that's the case, sure, I'll wait.
Because the mental gymnastics to not just put the barrel on the head, but put it on the head with a tapper and make it out of fucking jelly and then put a carpet on it, right? That is not people's first thought. When they were like, okay, beer, barrels, let's give them a barrel hat. That is not the first thing that comes into people's head.
I don't think they perform any mental gymnastics. I think they're just always mid-somersault, so they never go the simplest option.
Yeah, but they still acknowledged the simplest option. Like it would have come up to just add to incredible barrel design that they made and put it on their head. That would have come up. Or just the normal barrel, just put it on their head. That would have definitely have come up. It would have made sense. It would have been fine. But they didn't do it.
Yeah.
They made the decision to not do it.
Yeah,
and they make something
honest,
that's definitely worse, first of all. But I feel like there must be a reason for it. But then again, they often do this. They just don't add good cosmetics for some reason. Like there's so many beards in like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings that they just haven't used yet. And they're making some fucking diabolical ones. So well, who knows what's going on there? But
you can actually the dwarves in the Rings of Power. There's only really two main dwarves, male dwarves. You can replicate those guys quite easily, actually, especially Durin. I'm going to do that. I just realised that that's quite easy. But yeah, I think hats probably actually some of the on the lower end of the holiday hats, I must say.
I think it's really just the barrel one. The other one's like fine, to be honest. You can actually kind of get it to work.
So I guess it's just sort of it just goes along with the others, I guess, then, because there's a few that I think rise above in the holiday. There's some good ones in there still.
Yeah. I think Halloween has the highest hit chance. Like Halloween's ones look kind of silly, but they often just end up working. I think it was a last year's.
Well, last year was probably the worst one though.
Well, last year's wasn't it the masks?
No. Those were two separate years. The demon one, the devil mask, was almost 2 years ago now.
Oh my! But yeah, that's one of the
best. Last year was the fish man.
Yeah, which I got to work. You don't like the look, but it works.
No, the colours coordinate. It's not a good look still. It's not how it works.
Yeah, and it was like the witch hat, right? Which I do take issue with.
The witch hat was a while ago.
Alright.
Yeah, but it's just I see why you would take issue with it, but it's like if it's still like a nice hat.
Still, yeah, Halloween is generally a pretty high hat, good hat rate.
Good hat rate. The hat rate.
Christmas also ain't bad, but you kind of have to lean into the Christmas look.
Well, the Christmas thing, like they've got like the base Christmas hat, and that's really all you need. So it doesn't really matter what else they do. So I think they've actually done a decent job because like it annoys me that there isn't a straight up top hat, but like the stovepipe hat is still quite good, and like the snowman hat that year was pretty decent, whereas the snowman and the top hat.
Yeah,
but, they've got the basic Santa hat, so they can do it.
They've been kind of struggling since like they made a stocking that's basically just the same colours as the Christmas hat.
Yeah, what are they gonna do this year then? I don't know.
Christmas tree, which you can actually get to work. Credit where credit's due. That Christmas tree can work.
There are colours that coordinate there.
Yeah. And then there was an off year though. There was like the reindeer one. No, I don't like them.
Oh.
But yeah. And yeah, but this Oktoberfest, it was like a pretty mid one, and honestly a bad one. Like this barrel one fucking sucks.
For hats. For everything else though.
And the assignment's not worth mentioning, really. It's an assignment.
Oh, the assignment. Well, it's not worth mentioning in particular, I suppose. Yeah. It's just good to have an assignment come along, but it still feels slightly, I don't know, hollow. I don't know if that's the right word. It doesn't really provide much, does it?
Assignments don't really.
Yeah, but they provide like literally a framework for you to play the game under. Like, it's just something to do.
Yeah, so it's fine.
But
it does its job.
When it only comes along, like when a specific assignment only comes along once a year, I don't think those hold as much value in terms of just making someone want to play. It's just the weekly assignments. And the only time they really did anything with it was Easter this year, where it was just all egg hunts.
they need to, like, they should fiddle around with them more. Like, these ones should have been, you need to go into missions, like, drunk or something.
Oh, fuck, no. Or a mutator where you're drunk or something. Or you get drunk when you find the beer or something, I don't know.
You need to, finish 5 missions with the beer. Something like that, beer mug. Which I suppose we'll talk about now.
So it's just random missions. You have to find the mug in. That's not a bad idea for the assignment. So
Yeah.
if you don't complete it, if you don't do that,
I think
willingness for more variation with the rival escalation thing.
Yeah, and then they applied it to holidays with the Easter one. So I think they are playing around with a lot of.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. The Easter one was just them having it all be egg hunts. The point of the rival escalation one is that it was warnings. It wasn't actually tied. It wasn't mission specific.
But still, it's them. It was them applying a little extra pizzazz to the quests.
And it's
to
like,
a holiday
and then it
one.
ended with industrial sabotage. It's like, oh, this is kind of neat.
Yeah, that, and they brought it to holiday with the egg hunt. That's what I was saying, because that is like a seasonal one. That makes sense that they put effort into. But the fact that I know making it all egg hunt's probably not that much effort, but like, the thought that counts, and the thought was pretty rad. Making it all eggs, and the rival presence warning, and then the industrial sabotage.
When you say making it all eggs, it sounds like you're saying making widow eggs.
Shut up. But
I like that. It's cute. It's cute. It's cute.
Yeah. So the actual beer. Let's talk about it in the first.
It's a big thing, isn't it? Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, a new beer is a pretty interesting thing, considering they haven't had one for a fucking while. I think there is. I think first things first, it's in the holiday beer subsection. Which I think is worth noting because they went out of their way to make it, which I feel like implies that they might bring it back.
It's also worth noting that is definitely an implication, not guarantee. It's like a contingency thing where it's like we have this UI element here if we need it.
Yeah, now if we feel like making another beer for a holiday, it's there. We can just kind of pop it in.
Best worst again. Around. I assume this will be yearly now. But it's not like they ever really changed the decorations.
They said there'd be another 4 years in the stream, but they said it jokingly.
Well, yeah.
So, but I don't know what else they could really do for this. Like, I don't know. They can't crash another ship, or else that'd be a bit repetitive. But
that's a good point, actually. That's a bloody good point.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see, Oktoberfest being an event that just starts fires. It added beers, and now it's added beers being a holiday event, and then it just kind of goes again until it adds something new. It's like I don't know, a treat. It's like, oh, if we got a Oktoberfest coming up, we know they're gonna add something cool or some shit like that.
I mean, it definitely it kind of stepped things up in pretty much every regard except like assignment composition. That's the only area it didn't really do anything with, because decorations most vivid and detailed, I think. You still have, like, in Christmas you had the snowball piles, but
Halloween's got like the pumpkins.
Well, I mean, the snowballs specifically is something that they added last year.
The mechanic
that wasn't there before. But this is probably still the most detailed, richly decorated it's been. It's only that the snowball piles were like everywhere around the space rig. I think.
Which I think, once again, that makes me believe, because they didn't have time to add voice lines and really do that animation, but they did have time to make the hub look beautiful, which makes me think that the people that are doing that stuff are done. They've been done for a while.
The voice work is either
there's a bit of a queue there.
Or
because of season 3.
Yeah, they're working on more important voice lines. But obviously there were voice lines. There were mission control voice lines, which there's always something from mission control specifically.
But I think bear in mind, mission control,
because this is like a mission encounter.
Well, first of all, I mean, right. So mission control is one guy, and then all of the other dwarves are one guy, right?
Yeah.
So mission control, he'd probably done his voice lines, because I mean, he just has to probably do like maybe 3 or 4 variations of anything that's worth saying, like a game mode or event. He'll need like 3 or 4 variations of that, and job done. Meanwhile, like all the dwarves' voice lines and like the variations of each of them and all of that are all got to be like done by one poor sod. So management, the voice of management, having the liberty to do the voice lines, and the dwarf not. that implies something.
Also, I think whoever does the dwarf voice line, I think that voice is. I put money on it. That is definitely much more taxing to one's diaphragm than the Mission Control voice,
Well,
which is
Mission
more.
Control is like very close to his actual voice.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
exactly. It's just sort of like it's like someone who does like it's like the people. Some people have like, the voice for like ads and stuff.
Or
like
like Seth
voice.
Rogen.
What?
No.
What?
Whoever does Brian from Family Guy, that's
Seth
just his voice.
MacFarlane. Yeah,
That's the one.
I think it's just
He's
that guy.
very talented.
It's just the
yeah.
guy making his voice that version of his own voice. So it's pretty similar to his own voice. The dwarf one is like much more taxing on the lungs. There you go. So yeah, but they still got those voice lines in there, and it was we mentioned that there's even a slight narrative to the event, which is something they haven't really done before. It doesn't really add much. It's just very basic context. That's all it is. It's just context. It doesn't mean much. It's just like there was like a shipment of beer, and it crashed. So there's beer everywhere.
Yeah.
But still,
I just gotta quickly because I feel like we really need to hit the meat, and I keep like
what's the meat?
The beer itself. Well, there's this meat.
The sausage.
The actual special thing about it isn't what it does to you. Like you don't drink it and then shit happens. It's that you just eat a sausage and then drink it. Yeah, and I think that's interesting.
I think that's fine because it's still kind of just. I think it's fine to have just a normal beer, but it still has the sausage, and it's
Plus, it doesn't cost crafting materials. It just costs more than other things money, but it's still just a bit of money. So I don't know. I think it's. Eating confirmed?
Eating confirmed. Well.
Whoa.
No. No.
Oh.
I don't think so. Just because you eat the sausage. Well, I guess it is eating because you eat the sausage, but it's not like eating confirmed.
Just realised that when they did that, they said that the animation guys spent a while on that sausage. So they spent like all their time on the eating sausage animation and just couldn't cut in like the walking animation. But
I love that you thought it was going to turn you into a sausage.
Yeah, because I was under the thought that something would happen after, but no. No, they played their cards differently.
Well, it's not a craft beer. It's not in that category. So there's no.
Not that we knew that.
No, not that we knew that. No.
Harry.
I guess this greatly reduces the chances of Dreadnought turning you into a Dreadnought.
Well,
I think if they have like a Christmas beer, it'll have like a candy cane in it, and you'll like stir it with the candy cane or something, and then drink it.
Yeah, probably something like that. But I don't know. I think it's cool. It sets a precedent for holiday beers, as mentioned. And to be honest with you, of the two things, being beers and the double XP, I can see beers being regular. That of the two is my go-to.
Well, it's sort of something they can just like. They can take a week or something to just crack out all the event beers and just save them.
Well, it's also because they can't do double XP every holiday. They can't do that, especially considering season 3.
They're only going to have one in between seasons.
Exactly. Season 3 is, and it's probably going to be near the end. That's often when people do double XP seasonal stuff. Is near the end of the season, you'll get like double XP for like the final week or whatever. And even though Halloween technically would have been that, they've just seemingly boosted Oktoberfest to be that. But no, Christmas is not going to give you double XP. If it does, I'll be shocked. Same with like New Year's, Chinese New Year's, all that until like probably. Is Easter before, or we won't know when next season comes out? But whatever the event,
I think,
near the end of next season,
it'll be weird, won't it? Because I guess season 4 probably is like it's like March earliest, isn't it? Like earliest.
Sure. So maybe like Easter then.
And no, Easter is April, right? So I think, especially because they might want to do something like this a bit earlier on in the season, remember? So I think Christmas is actually or maybe New Year is actually fairly likely for the next double XP one.
No.
I just don't think it'll be the next one. I think everyone else is like it's could be, but not Halloween.
Yeah, no, not Halloween. I mean, if they do a double XP in Halloween, then that means it's just going to be a thing from now on.
Yeah.
Like, it's just every holiday is just going to give you double XP, which means you are going to finish the season 3 fucking pass within like a month or two. There is so many there's so many holidays at like the end of the year starting next one.
I'd be so surprised. I think that's balanced because, like, yeah, there are people who don't really have the time to get the seasons done even now. I saw someone, it was recently, so during the Oktoberfest event, asking for like more time. But this is a minority. No, it's a minority of people, and there's no FOMO, if you're aware of that term.
Yeah,
there's no fear of missing out.
Like,
and obviously, people always let them know, though. There'll be community members be like, "You don't have to worry. It's like if you don't have to finish it. It's not imperative. It's not.
I think
it's not impressive,
interesting.
really, finishing the performance pass. It's not an achievement.
I think you need to bear in mind that man just asked for the season to be delayed.
I don't remember the exact wording. I don't think it's...
No,
I don't know.
But that's what that means.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's what he said. I'm remembering badly.
Remember better next time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the double XP is very interesting and also very broken. I think if they're going to do it again, they need to not make it guaranteed.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, it could be every it could be every event. If they just balance it, or better idea. Just have the assignment give you lots of performance points.
I don't think it's really the point. And also, no, I don't like that.
Okay.
I want more things in missions.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I really like this.
I agree with that. And also, that's exactly why they should tone it down, because it becomes slightly invaluable. Invaluable means the opposite of what it sounds like. So
it's like the same as like a secondary objective at this point. They've just added a new secondary objective to grab the beer. Otherwise, you're kind of bummed, to be honest. The mission is just like double or like half the value that it could have been. And I don't know, I think I'm happy they've done it, and it makes sense that they're doing it now. It's just going to launch everyone to complete the pass, motivate everyone to play. It makes sense. But I think from now on, they can't do this every season. Like, because people literally, like, they'll release this November. Do they do an event in November? Do they do like
November?
They don't do like
no, there wouldn't be anything in November.
There is a lot of things in November, but they just don't celebrate it.
Oh yeah,
there's Guy Fawkes Day.
What are they gonna do for that? Oh, I want that hat. Guy Fawkes' hat. That's perfect.
Yeah. They'll fuck it up somehow. But yeah, and then you come Christmas and you gotta finish the pass. Because, like, I mean, I played more than I normally do.
They didn't do anything for the passing of the Queen. She's got the Queen's hat.
I mean, they have no reason to. But yeah, basically, by the end of the year, you gotta finish the pass. It would be like immediate if you get double XP for like 2 weeks.
Tom won't have finished it
in every mission. No, because he wouldn't have played. But yeah, it wouldn't be ridiculous unless they toned it down to where maybe 1 in 4 missions. That might work, or maybe not double, 1.5 times, maybe something like that. 1.25.
Or just cargo crate rarity. It's the first thing I think of.
I suppose, except for the fact that I've not seen a cargo crate in. Actually, that's not true. I saw some recently, but then from then, never.
Called RNG, bro.
Yeah. Point is I like the feature. Not sure if it's permanence, but I do like, because this is a holiday event. Like,
You what?
it's a holiday event. It's an event for the holiday event in game.
You sick man.
In
What are you
mission.
saying?
And I think that is pretty goddamn sick. I want more of it. Just maybe not
I
be
also
broken.
think it was probably just born out of Ghost Ship realizing that they probably need to do more stuff. Because like all games that have events, there's always they always give you something, right? And by this, what I'm getting here is right. Technically, all of these holiday events in the past haven't provided anything meaningful when it comes to progression at all. Actually, zero. And that's the difference that they made here. It feels actually more included in the game. And everything else is sort of just because like once you're done with the assignment in all previous events, once you're done with the assignment, it just becomes a backdrop. You know, it's really nothing. This case, I'm not forgetting that it's Oktoberfest. I mean, it's pretty difficult too, considering the state of the bar. But you don't forget it's part of the game while it's around. I feel like with the others that sort of isn't the case, and I hope that's what we see come out of this. That's yes. So I don't really care what parts they carry forward, or even any. I just want all the future events to be more like this in some way, just more comprehensive, more involved.
Yeah.
Yes. Go on then. Go on. Go on.
What's
Spit
next?
it out. Me neither. Why's my mouse not working? Oh, it is. It is.
I think that's. I mean, yeah. Basically, this has very strong implications for the future of holiday events, in that there'll be more than just 2 hats and a bit of stuff to do. It might boost your seasonal XP a varying amount, or a lot, and there might be a beer. And I'm leaning towards just a beer a season at least, just something like that.
Let's brainstorm a beer for every event.
Yeah, I mean,
Dreadnought.
pumpkin spice for Halloween.
You got me there. I mean, okay, summer, like like pina coladas or something.
Yeah, there'd be like an umbrella on their hat.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Easter. Eggnog. Again.
Yeah.
Or like a Bloody Mary or something. It's got this.
It could be just.
Shot.
No, I know what it is. It's the mug is made out of chocolate. So once you drink it, you just start eating the mug.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the best. Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Well done. I mean, well, actually, that's what we should talk about. Is this isn't the only. Well, I guess it's not a one-off now, but the Lunar New Year was a one-off. I mean, I don't know if it's come back around yet. Yeah, no, so it was this year. It was January this year. So it could be here again. It could come around again. This was the one that had the wide brim, the Scale Brigade sort of hat type thing.
Yeah, it was something else, or just that.
It was just that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. But it's like it's a new one. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a new event, and it's been a while since they've done such a thing. I can't. Well, actually, no, it's not, because the summer one as well. So they actually introduced 2 new events this year, and I didn't consider that. I failed to consider the implications of the Lunar New Year possibly being the same as something like the summer one, where it's like an in-between thing, because the Lunar New Year is like slap bang between season 1 and 2, I think. So if anything, that's the one that they would do this again with, if they're going to do all the things that Oktoberfest did again for another event. it'll probably be that one because it's the most likely to be in the middle. Because it's in January. But that's stupid if they're bringing that back as well. Because then you've got an event in September. I get Oktoberfest is actually more in September, which is a bit odd, really. But you've got Oktoberfest in September. You've got October. You've got Halloween. November. Well, you've got season 3, I guess, in this case. But then you get Christmas. Then you get New Year. Then you get the Lunar New Year in January. Then you get anniversary in February. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And then Easter in April, and then it's like August or July. It's the next one for summer. Because that was
then they had to make
the
that
other
up.
thing. Well, we acknowledged that at the time when they announced the summer thing, because I wasn't too focused on the season part of it, whereas this is because season 3 is still a long way out. It was really just because we acknowledged how empty that half of the year is compared to the other half. That being substantially more empty. There was nothing from April till October, I guess, because Oktoberfest hasn't been around for a while. So that's just a big chunk just of nothing. So I'm not even sure if it was really down to the seasons. When it came to the summer thing, I think it's just we've done, there's been nothing for so long. We got to give them something. And so they did.
Yeah, which is why they probably, I don't know, because it will lead to different experiences of the seasons. The season 1 probably, we know season 1 felt pretty jam-packed and pretty quick. I don't know, season 1 didn't drain at all, I didn't feel. Season 2 has been a fucking slog.
Yeah.
It has dragged heavily. And now we're entering season 3, and season 3 will probably feel like it goes by pretty quickly, because we're going to get a new event every month. And then the anniversary, and there's going to be a lot of that, and then
I think
the next season will come
out
out.
though, the New Year thing isn't really one of those events.
It's just a thing.
It just gets brought out on the New Year.
Well,
it's just an assignment.
The New Year doesn't count to what I'm saying. There's Christmas in December. There's the Lunar New Year in January. So the New Year one doesn't really need to count to get my point across. It's so jam packed that it just results in season 1 flying by and season 2 dragging because of how there's nothing to celebrate during that holiday. And then it's going to happen again. Season 3 is going to fly by. It's going to be full of stuff, and then season 4 is going to drag, unless they put the seasonal change in the middle of the summer,
or maybe they grow some brain cells.
And
period.
Oh
no, maybe I have sort of. What does trepidations mean? That's a word. I hope I'm using it right.
You're the one that just came up with it.
I didn't come up with it. A feeling of fear or anxiety about something that may happen. Sure, I still have trepidations about what they're doing with this. What they did with Oktoberfest, because frankly, I would have been fine with all the holiday events just staying as they were. And what I really wanted them to do was create some actual events, and we talked about
universe
this.
I think.
Well, it's all in universe, but I mean specifically mid-season events, and I think maybe what's sort of, I guess there's probably quite a few things that are unattractive about this. First of all, it probably forces them to it would force them to either withhold content from a season's release, or take away time from development on the next season. And they also they're not really in a position where they can predict when the middle of the season would be. So I know there's a lot of reasons why this is a big ask,
Well,
but I think it would do
right.
them more good than just adding to these holiday events.
Uh, Holding back on content to spread across has actually is not that good of an idea. Uh, like, I mean, it sounds good because but people like fat content dumps.
Yeah.
That's just a thing. And then they like having season passes to keep them there. That's just it works for a reason. That's just how humans work now, apparently. Um, and it just holding back content. If people find out that they could have added a bunch of stuff but didn't, there'd be rioting. Well, I don't know. It just gives a weird feeling, knowing that you could have gotten more, but they're just
that's
holding it
not
off.
what I want. That's one of the reasons why they probably wouldn't do this, is because that's how they would have to do it. So they probably won't do it.
I think it's
because
just
I don't
this.
think they have the means to produce proper content updates in between seasons.
Well, yeah, because if they could, then the seasons would actually just be shorter,
Yeah.
which I think is really what everyone would want.
So, but then again, maybe you even need to make the argument of maybe they should be diverting all resources to that instead of adding to these events anyway.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why I feel like this event was just. It was a sorry and thank you, but also it's just those people weren't really doing anything else. Um, like and where some like actual, not really effort comes in, they kind of pull back. Like obviously the voice lines of the dwarves, the animations of holding it, they were toned down to non-existent because they didn't really have the time or energy to do it.
Yeah, and I guess the point of something like the Lunar New Year, which it's the same as all the other holiday events, but it's just the fact that it was new, and they brought it out a couple months after season one. Maybe that was like basically no effort, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they were able to do something like that, and the summer one, because it's literally just like the assignment is nothing to make, and decorating the rig and all that stuff is probably also doesn't take a long time, and it's probably like the artists, the 3D modelers. I don't know. I feel like maybe the people who do that, maybe their work is already done, or it's just not a lot to really it's not enough where it's not too much where they shouldn't do it. You know, maybe
it can be very much assumed that that is the case due to the fact that they literally they didn't have enough time. They couldn't record the dwarves' voice lines, yet they were able to add this much detail, this much modeling, and this much to the hub. Right? You can assume that the fact that they did that, and even like the animation, on the mug, like of actually eating the sausage, the fact that they could get away with doing that makes you assume that like they are the kind of things that they have excess of, that they can actually spend time on events for.
Yeah, you kind of have to assume that the events aren't actually taking away anything from mainline development.
Yeah.
You have to assume that, because otherwise it would be ludicrous for them to put even more effort into one.
Yeah, considering in announcing the update, they were like, apologies for this is taking so long. If it turns out that their apology contains the reason it's taking so long, I don't know. Yeah, it would be really dumb, and I don't think they'd be doing that.
No, I hope not.
Yeah.
Dear. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Oh dear. What a hullabaloo. What a load of silly nonsense is going on over there. I would assume that they've started streaming by now. They have.
They have. I've got it on the background.
Really? What are they saying?
I've not actually been listening to it yet, because I can't pay attention to both. But they say they have a short stream, so we might not have as long as we thought.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, because I didn't realise we actually didn't have that much to talk about.
No. I mean, I didn't write anything down. Let's do that now. What are we going to talk about?
Well, the thing is that I thought we were
Bagels.
going to spend a quite long time at the end theorizing and wishing about what the future of the events are. But we already kind of established it, really, uh, in that, like, I don't know, a beer, preferably per. I think,
A beer.
yeah, I mean, there's some people that are in love with the beers. Like, good old Vince bought like two every
Vince.
goddamn time.
Vincent.
uh, and then, yeah, I don't know. It would just, add to the season, especially, Oktoberfest. It's pretty funny eating a sausage out of a cup, but like if the Christmas one played like Christmas music or
Well,
something like that.
they do.
Yeah, I know they do, which is also why Christmas one's so cool. But like, I don't know what the Dreadnought would do then. But just something that adds to the like kind of, I don't know, atmosphere uh, or feeling of the event would be pretty cool. Um, and then maybe, yeah, sometimes near the end of seasons, if there's an event that co-aligns, uh, or make one maybe if there's not, uh, just do a double XP just to wrap people up,
Yeah, well, I
get them
suppose
to finish their stuff.
what something I did want to talk about is address if these events are actually doing what they want them to do. So, you know, for example, was Oktoberfest actually a success in getting people to play or keeping people playing? I guess the answer is probably generally a yes.
But for us, not for me at least.
Well, I mean like the keeping part more specifically because
Mm.
it's like I don't think it's made me want to play more necessarily. Um, but it might be more subconscious, where
Well, I
this
think the
added
issue
thing of
is
the mug that you can find in a mission
the issue
is an
is
added thing. What?
yeah, I think there is definitely there's like a bunch of reasons I would say. There is the fact that there is actually more to do in caves. There's a fun new beer and an assignment and like hats. Like there's the normal reasons. There's a bit extra, but then there's also the fact that like season 3 is on the horizon and people are already kind of paying attention to the game again thanks to the
Yeah,
teasers.
thanks
So the
to
people
us.
that kind of ditched it, yeah, the people that kind of dropped it and were waiting for the new season, they're beginning to like peek their ears in at least, and then they hear that there's a event going on right now that
Yeah,
gives you
and it does
XP
sort of
for
feel
the
like
season that you haven't done. It's like
there's always been some kind of news attached. You know,
yeah,
it's always bringing attention to their game more than just in game. Whenever they do one of these events, I think I don't know how far back I can go in terms of news, but obviously we can immediately go to the summer. That was when they put out the roadmap for season 3.
yeah.
It always brings a good amount of attention, not just in the game itself. So I'm not sure they're too concerned about how much they're actually making people play, because these events are more of an obligation than anything, and it's just a bonus that they're able to have it coincide with proper news.
Yeah, it's just they like had they're like okay these are the things you can look forward to and people were like okay but then there's also here's a reason to play right now with the event. It's like oh cool. So they make you kind of want to play in the future but then give you a reason to play now. And then I think it is working. I mean I wouldn't really know. Not really noticed an
And
increase
then,
or
like,
dip
for
in
example, the
player base.
anniversary just has like the whole. They do a lot during the anniversary time, even if it's not news
Yeah.
related. They have the anniversary stream. Although looking back over these events, they haven't really come. Oh right, so for example, like the Lunar New Year, the Lunar Festival, that actually coincided with showing the crossbow. So that works out nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah. So they're always just splicing.
Splicing.
Yeah. So like, here's a bit of
Splicing.
news. Here's a bit of event. Here's a bit of news. Here's a bit of event. And I mean, the Halloween is probably going to be just the what's it?
Yeah, it does almost feel in a way that their live service model is based around telling people things. Sometimes, you know.
Is it? it is.
I know.
Like, but they get you to play the game before the content by telling you about the content all the time and getting you hyped up for it.
Yeah,
and
but
playing
what
the
I'm
game.
getting at is maybe they should actually think about putting these teasers in game. I don't know. A way to. I don't know. It sounds trivial, but like,
Well, they
literally
they,
just
they,
like,
they did joke about doing that they
oh.
should like add the new grenades in the trash chute, and no
Oh
one
wait,
would
I
even
mean that would
notice.
be awesome. I'm literally
Um,
saying like a terminal where you can watch teaser videos in the game,
right.
so that people who aren't aware at all about any of the
Well, the issue is
ways to get news for their game.
is as mentioned like before, some people don't like knowing about what's coming next. I mean, I used to be one of them, but you just kept telling
Yeah,
me
but then
about
you
it,
would
and
put
at this
like a
point, it's
news
part of the
terminal,
experience.
so it's something
Yeah,
that
but
people can look
if
at if they
it's
want.
but if it's there, you're looking on it. I'm sorry, but if there's a new terminal that's just appeared that contains all of the secrets of the thing you're looking forward to, eventually you're going to succumb. And if you don't want to, then you're just going to have to stop playing. Like, it's only going to have the opposite effect at that point.
Yeah,
But
but okay, yeah, sure, fair enough for those people, but I'm not sure they're too concerned about that.
and plus,
Because it's based, like you agreed that their model is always based around telling people things. So
yeah, but only the people that you know that care enough to, at least,
yeah,
or
but there's
in the
probably a lot of
community.
people who don't know that they would care because they just aren't aware of any of the like, ways to get news.
Well, they just look it up and find our channel, eh?
Oh yeah.
They just look up
To be fair, they get a
teasers,
lot of engagement with the
trailers,
Steam
news.
posts. People know about things.
Yeah, they post it in like all the ways they can. The only thing they're not doing is adding it to the game, and I think it makes sense because it's a teaser. It's not like an actual announcement of like the content. Like how like in Apex, if there's a new character, they'll like a week in advance they'll like show the trailer video. Like it's not them announcing that these exist; it's them teasing it.
That's a good. That's yes. I mean, you're damn right, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. What other events could they do?
Well, I think as mentioned, they could make so. I mentioned like in game, like obviously there could be like lore events like related to the seasonal thing, like with the robots. Like it could be, like I don't know, the caretakers getting more aggressive, and then they added they can add to the caretaker and can summon a nemesis or some shit like that.
Whoa!
Just like a slight bit of content to the game. In the middle of the season, just to add a bit of spice. Could be something like that. Or they could literally make up a holiday. And it's like, this is National Dwarves Day in the universe.
Yeah, something like that. That's actually exactly what I would want.
Yeah.
An actual dwarven holiday. That's perfect. Well done. Good work. Like Durin's Day. When the last light of the moon of autumn shines upon the keyhole.
They should do that. When's autumn? Autumn's like now, right? Oh wait, the end of autumn. So going into winter. So it would be about like now.
Well, if
next
you can
month.
get an event for every month, I mean that's like ideal, right? It almost feels like that's what they're trying to do.
I mean, it's already the case in one half of the year. So you've either got to tone it down on that half.
I'm actually on the Wikipedia page for the list of multinational festivals and holidays. March. Lent. Well, I suppose that makes sense. It's leading up to International Women's Day. St. Patrick's Day.
They did that, right?
Did they? No, it would be on the wiki. It would be on the wiki. They got all the seasonal events on the wiki. No, there was no St. Patrick's Day. Give me the damn leprechaun hat.
When is that?
17th of March. I think that's a
Okay,
good
so is that
time.
the only one in March?
That would be unless the Easter one is always like earlier or something. Because
They often are.
Easter April 7th. But then St. Patrick's Day you would start in like 2 weeks before, so it would be the beginning of March. So that would work. I think if they want to take real world stuff, I'd grab that for March. That'd be good. Also, that's very very beer, Irish. I think that would work quite well.
And they could add like just a strong green beard colour.
And they could add the clovers if defined to make the beer.
Yeah, or it could be like.
I know you love that shit.
A new craft clover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like the 5-leaf clover or something, or the no-leaf clover.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think they have tons of options. It's just you need to kind of balance things like that and actual content.
Yeah, but I do think St. Patrick's Day is one that they that's probably the only because that's not even like a holiday really, but it's still a widely celebrated thing, and it's very well known, and I think there's potential for it that actually feels appropriate for deep rock. I think it works. So I would do that, and also I would just say do that because it will help you out, give you something for that month. I mean, I guess the thing is that's around when season 4 will probably come out, but still. And then like a dwarven holiday is exactly something I would want. That's just the perfect idea.
Yeah, or they could do like a space holiday, something like that. International Space Day, the day they entered space, shit like that.
The day they found Hoxies or something.
Yeah, like there's just a bunch of just made up holidays they could celebrate.
Well,
just and they don't have...
what the anniversary is though. It's obviously the game's release, but I think they actually, it's like 4 years in orbit kind of thing. That's how long they've been working, basically. So you got that. There's precedent for it. That's what I'm saying. There's precedent. There's president.
Get the president on the line.
I'm pretty sold on the St. Patrick's Day thing, though. Especially with the beer crafting.
Yeah, but it doesn't really solve the issue, though, does it? Like, that doesn't even touch the void of summer.
No, you're right. You're right, it doesn't. But that's because summer is just a big holiday. So they need the summer. The easiest solution would just be to have the summer event last for the entirety of summer, the whole season, the whole 3 months.
Or they make it so the seasonal change is the content in the middle of summer. That's my pitch. If the seasons changed in the middle of summer, then there's all that content there now. You don't have to worry about events because it's a season change.
So they wouldn't have to completely rejig I don't know.
They just have to make a short season.
Yes, they would.
Which they can do.
They have to make 2 short seasons no, not in a row. No, I guess if season 4 is like March or April, then they would make a really short season 5 to come out in July.
Yeah.
Or August. 3 to 4 months.
Yeah,
most.
July, August.
Just force it. Just fucking force it. It doesn't matter how wafer thin the narrative elements are. Just fucking do it.
And then they should keep doing that.
No,
they should keep releasing fucking months of season.
I didn't think that was necessarily your point, was it?
No, it isn't. But I'm doubling down on it now because it is the thing. We wouldn't need to worry about the void of events and the events being the supply of content if there was just a steady supply of it. There is.
Also, but if the seasons were shorter, it would make tying them together feel more.
You could do part 2s and part 3s. Do what you want.
You could even do part 3s because obviously you'd be starting with less content related to the narrative, but then you can keep going with that for longer instead of.
Once again, I think this is why season 3 is going to be interesting because, and I think we mentioned it. I'm not sure if we've really gone into it. This is getting a bit off track now. I think we already have been, so I'm just kind of going with it. But they kind of talked about having to make guns each season as like a bit of a ball and chain. Like they like doing it, but it kind of restricted most of their efforts as far as that stuff is concerned.
Other content better be fucking good then.
Exactly. That's why I'm interested in that. Now they're only making like one grenade per class, which in all fairness, they're doing a pretty rad job of it. But I still stand by the fact that what we said before, that one grenade per class is still disappointing.
But was that because of the expectation set?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We did not expect one per because we assumed that they would match the gun content with the grenade content. But if they're doing grenade content and something else, or some things else, is what they actually said.
Things else.
Then maybe it will blast away the guns, and they change up like perks or some shit like that. Like they do something wild like that. With like all these extra time and space and in hours and that they would have spent on like overclocks and mods and upgrades. But now they don't really have to do that because they just have to make a grenade for per. But if all that time and energy has just gone into like the seasonal stuff, I don't think I'd be chuffed. Like if it's just like a biome and like an anomaly, and that's where the extra effort one like came from.
I mean, I'd rather just
I'd rather have had another grenade for per class. I'm sorry, but fuck off. Like the actual like content or like the things you can get your hands on like on a dwarf is like the most important thing in the game. Like your weapons, your tools, your build is the most important thing. Where what you then can apply it to is secondary, like missions, biomes, all of that. It's about how stuff feels in your hands, and the customization of that is the most important thing.
So, but what you said about what they said, so it depends on what they really mean by what they're allowed to do, what they've allowed themselves to do by not just working on weapons again, because we need to see what the effects of that are, because we can't tell from that whether that means they're underestimating the importance of those kind of additions, in that they are the most important type. I hope we're not looking at a situation where they care more about what the community cares more about. Well, they care about something else more than what the community cares about the most, and they divert more attention to that than is reasonable. Whereas I think for season 1, say, it was actually pretty much perfect in terms of how they should do it.
I think the thing is they really used to just be like completely in the pulse of the community, and they just used to add things that everyone wanted just constantly, and then not even like that they bent the knee. It was just like a coincidence that what was on the top of their list was like on the top of what community wants as well. But with the like kind of result of the robots, and even though they are still on the pulse in that they acknowledge the robots was a bit of a they have yet to actually acknowledge they messed up with the robots. They don't actually believe that the robots are bad. It doesn't seem like they think they could tinker with them a little bit, but they still actually stand by the robots. They've never denounced them, but they've acknowledged that they're kind of dropping it for now. But
I saw something interesting earlier. It was a poll about what people's least favourite current seasonal event was out of the 3, as in the Prospector, the Data Deposit, and the Router. The least favourite was the Prospector, the most hated by quite a bit. And so I went to the comments, and I wanted to see, okay, how are people getting away with this? And then, but the argument put forward was something that we have experienced, but only once. It's the point of like, if you're not really on it, the Prospector can just kind of just keep getting away, and then you just get more and more shit to deal with.
That actually happened again for me and Tom.
And me, actually.
Very recently.
It's happened multiple times for me recently, but not before recently. It's weird.
Me and Tom, we were playing with a random. Literally, no. Me and Tom were just playing, and then a random joined, started the Prospector, shot the Dreadnought because we were on a Dreadnought mission. No, wait. Yeah, no, that's unfair. He accidentally started the Prospector, which shit hit the fan, and in that shit, I think a bunch of Tri-Jaws or patrol bots broke the thing. So we then had a Dreadnought, Prospector, ton of patrol bots and we didn't last long. We were also in a tunnel. We were trying to just run past the egg. And yeah, we just got completely destroyed.
Damn.
And I think it is. I mean, they're not wrong that the the prospector is. You can't not start the prospector, or you can, but it's the hardest. The other ones you have to like actively turn on, right? Meanwhile, the prospector you can accidentally graze or shooting at something else, and then you'll have to fight like 17 patrol bots. And there is something there, but also that's fun. That's fun. Being thrown into shitty situations is the only real
The
way
game would be somewhat boring. Well, quite not. I don't know.
If you're
It's boring. No, sorry.
Of
It would be
everything all the time.
No. Not boring isn't the right word. It would be unexciting if there was no chance of things like that happening.
Yeah.
And I don't think those things are exactly the same.
I
just think if there's no chance of something like that happening, it just makes it less interesting.
What was top?
The favourite?
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I can't remember where I found this poll. I can't remember. So I can't really go back to it very easily. I think it must have been on Reddit though.
Because I'm fine if the recon.
I'm not sure.
Top,
I'm not sure. I think. Well, no, because it was the voting of the least favourite. So I guess the lowest voted one is the one that people like the most, I guess, and I think it was the router.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how far back I'd have to go to find it because I didn't even know it was on the
Don't
Reddit.
worry about it.
I will find it.
Okay. There's not much else. At this point, we kind of like pulled a bit thin. I mean, yeah. Basically, generally, Oktoberfest has been and is and will be, and other terms that address it as past, present, and future. Pretty cool. It's been a pretty cool event. The double XP every mission is a bit broken. I was sitting at like 89, and within 2 days I had completed the pass. I imagine it's someone that just hasn't played the game at all. If they just constantly grab mugs, it would easily get to fucking 100 within the event. So I think that needs to be tampered with. But
that implies outside tampering is not something that the official curators do.
With.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
Yeah. So, official Barrel Vision review of Oktoberfest is. Okay, I can't get the number 8 out of my head. Do you agree with that?
8 out of 10.
Yeah, the kind of floating weird nature of holding the mug kind of throws me off.
Right. What if that wasn't there? It would be a solid.
It would be a 9.
11. If they didn't have the weird floaty mug. 11 out of 10.
And the hats, actually. The hats kind of fuck it. But as far as actual like content goes, I'm glad they're adding more things to bump into in caves.
Adding content.
Yeah.
We love content here at Content Vision.
Yeah. But yeah. Look forward to Halloween because I really like Halloween. Thing is though, and I think this is worth mentioning, never mind. It's not worth mentioning.
Yes,
I was about to say we might not get Halloween, but that's definitely not the case. They have announced that there's going to be Halloween.
Yeah, and Halloween's not the one that they would just skip over. It'll just freak everyone out. Like, what? Where's Halloween?
Yeah.
Idiots. Fuck do you mean it's Halloween?
Yeah.
What?
So we're gonna be looking at a Halloween thing, probably early October. I mean, they announce it like what, a week or two before it comes out.
No, man. I think Halloween will be like right up to season.
No, I mean
3.
announced.
What? Oh yeah,
when do we expect to see the Halloween announcement? Like early October.
Yeah, like a week after Oktoberfest ends or something.
Yeah.
Probably, and they'll be like, "Oh, Halloween's in 2 weeks from now." And oh, lovely. What are these hats? Oh, what the fuck is that? What would it be? I'm trying to think. Scream mask. Because they tried to put like the Jason one in. If they just added the Alien and Predator, just straight up. Or the Alien specifically.
So they add like one mask at a time. So maybe we should assume what mask they could add.
What's a common mask?
Maybe like probably an. Thing is, I want to say Alien, but like they're in space. So are aliens even like that?
What about
or
they're
just like neighbors?
Alien?
Yeah, probably maybe something like that. I mean, what? So we got like a demon. We got like a creature from the deep.
I just don't appreciate. I don't.
Maybe a werewolf.
I don't think about that. Yeah, probably.
Actually, no, we don't want to do that. Furry mask. Furry mask.
Well, see.
Actually, there will be a lot of people that were like that.
Yeah, we found out that recently.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that annoys me about the Halloween masks, to be honest, is the fact that they're masks. And so we have the ghost ship helmet from the Supporter DLC, which I think mentions that it's a Halloween mask, but it's like holographic technology, and it's like the next evolution in Halloween masks or something.
And then they went back and then they went backwards.
So it's kind of just I don't like using the word, but it seems like laziness. Where they're not just making a full head mask. What?
It's that is something that you buy, right?
True.
That is a paid cosmetic. They can't give you things equal to it in like that in that kind of way. It's got to keep it special somehow. But yeah, I don't know. I think they could also botch it again. Like they could I don't know. They could add like a Dracula mask, but it's just a little fucking Jello Dracula standing on a fucking picnic. Fuck off!
What? It's just a Dracula action figure standing on your head. Well, that'd be hilarious.
It's made of Jello.
It's made of Jello.
Yeah.
Like an Oogie Boogie sack mask.
I think let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up in a nice present.
I've been struggling to.
With a bow.
There's just nothing else to say.
I'm sure that there's other things to say, like
thank you for listening. There's no time to say it.
Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching. Love you all. Mwah.
I actually do love you all. Listen to this. Goodbye.